Pay attention, this isn't the time to scroll past. Today we're breaking down 20 Amish foods you need to stockpile now before it's too late. Let's be real, disasters don't give you a warning, and when grocery stores are cleared out, desperation won't fill your stomach. The Amish have mastered the art of preparedness with foods that last, nourish, and actually keep you alive. Skip these and you're setting yourself up to fail. Stick around till the very last item, because every single one is crucial for your survival plan. Don't wait until it's too late, get ready now. At number 20, we have pickled eggs, and if they aren't already on your radar, they should be. Listen, in a real crisis, fresh protein is going to disappear faster than anything else. Eggs are a powerhouse of nutrition, but the Amish figured out how to make them last without a fridge turning them into pickled eggs. When preserved in vinegar, these protein-packed gems can last up to 3 months or more if stored properly in a cool, dark spot. That means you've got access to high-quality protein when power outages or supply chain breakdowns leave you high and dry. Not only are pickled eggs shelf-stable, but they're also ridiculously convenient. You don't need to cook or prepare them, just crack one open and eat it. And they're portable too. Whether you're sheltering in place or on the move, they're easy to pack and carry. When stress hits and food options are limited, pickled eggs are the quick, no-fuss nutrition you'll need to stay sharp and energized. Plus, they're loaded with amino acids your body will absolutely depend on when times are tough. Versatility is another reason these deserve a spot in your stockpile. Sure, you can eat them as is, but they can also be sliced, diced, or tossed into meals to add variety. Trust me, food fatigue is real, and eating the same thing day after day will wear you down. Pickled eggs can help keep things interesting during those tough times. But here's the kicker, they're also an incredible trade item. Protein sources are going to be extremely valuable in a survival scenario, and having something like pickled eggs at your disposal makes you a key player in bartering for whatever you might need. At number 19, we've got dried corn and popcorn, and trust me, this is a survival staple you don't want to overlook. Dried corn isn't just a food, it's a powerhouse of versatility and nutrition that can keep you alive and kicking when the grocery aisles are empty. With the potential to last for several years when stored right, think airtight containers in a cool, dark spot, it's one of the smartest, longest-lasting foods you can add to your stockpile. Here's why it's a no-brainer. Dried corn can be ground into cornmeal for baking breads, pancakes, or muffins. You can even use it to make tortillas from scratch, which is a game-changer when you're working with limited resources. On top of that, the whole kernels can be cooked into filling soups and stews, giving you a hearty, energy-packed meal option when you need it most. It's loaded with fiber, carbohydrates, and even some protein essential for keeping your energy up when times get tough. Now, popcorn deserves its own shout-out here. Not only is it a satisfying snack that can bring a little comfort in high-stress situations, but it's also a 2-for-1 deal in your survival arsenal. You can pop it for a crunchy, high-fiber treat or grind it down into cornmeal if you're in a pinch. Whether you're looking to shake up mealtime monotony or secure fuel for your body, popcorn delivers. And if you're thinking long-term, dried corn isn't just food, it's currency. Its long shelf life, versatility, and the fact that everyone needs carbohydrates make it a top-tier barter item. When fresh food runs out, being the person with dried corn in your stash could put you in a position of power. You'll be ready to trade for what you need or even help others along the way. Bottom line, dried corn and popcorn aren't just smart, they're essential. Skip this, and you're leaving a massive gap in your survival plan. Don't just stockpile wisely. At number 18, we've got smoked meats, and if you're serious about survival, this is non-negotiable. Protein is the backbone of sustained energy, and when the fresh meat disappears from shelves, smoked meats are the lifeline you'll wish you had prepped. The smoking process isn't just about flavor, it's about preservation. Done right, it extends the shelf life of meat significantly, meaning it can last for months, even years, with proper storage. Toss it in a cool, dry spot, and you've got a reliable protein source that doesn't need refrigeration, perfect for when the power goes out. Smoked meats like bacon, sausages, ham, or jerky come with a double punch of practicality and taste. First, they're lightweight and easy to store, which matters when space and portability are critical. Second, they're your survival multi-tool. You can grab a piece for a quick, high-energy snack or use it to supercharge your meals. Toss it into beans, soups, or stews and watch a bland meal transform into something hearty and satisfying. When you're facing the grim monotony of emergency rations, that burst of smoky, savory flavor can do wonders for your morale. And here's where smoked meats become game changers, they're barter gold. When fresh protein is nearly impossible to find, smoked meat becomes as good as currency. Its high nutritional value and long shelf life make it something everyone wants but few people have. That puts you in the driver's seat for trades. Whether you're looking to secure other necessities or maintain good relations with your neighbors, smoked meats make you stand out. Bottom line, skipping smoked meats in your stockpile isn't just a mistake, it's borderline reckless. They're preservable, portable, nourishing, and downright essential for a survival plan that actually works. Get them in your pantry, or get ready to go without when it really counts. At number 17, we have canned fruits, and these are an absolute must for any serious stockpile. Forget about fresh fruit during a real crisis. It's the first thing to disappear, and the last thing you'll be able to find. That's where canned fruits come in. Packed with essential vitamins, natural sugars for quick energy, and even hydration, they're a survival powerhouse. If stored properly, they can last for years. That's right, years of dependable nutrition right at your fingertips, no refrigeration needed. Canned fruits like peaches, pineapples, and pears are ready to eat straight from the can. That means no prepping, no cooking, and no hassle when you're already dealing with enough chaos. Just pop the lid, and you've got an immediate hit of energy and nutrients. And don't underestimate the morale boost here. The sweetness and flavor they bring can genuinely lift spirits when you're stuck eating boring, repetitive meals day after day. Trust me, a touch of sweetness can go a long way when everything else feels like it's falling apart. And here's a pro tip: the syrup that most canned fruits are packed in. Don't waste it. That syrup serves as an extra calorie source and can even be used to flavor other foods. Add it to plain oatmeal or drizzle it into a soup or stew to create a balance of flavors. It's not just sweet, it's strategic. Using every part of what you've got will help you get through those tough days smarter and stronger. Now, when it comes to bartering, canned fruits can be a goldmine. They're portable, they're nutritious, and they offer a comfort factor that other foods just don't match. People will trade for fresh-tasting, shelf-stable fruit in an instant. Stock up now, and you won't just be prepared, you'll be ahead of the game when the chips are down. Skipping canned fruits in your emergency stash is like shooting yourself in the foot. They've got everything going for them: nutrition, shelf life, versatility, and value. There's no excuse not to load up your pantry. Do it now or regret it later. At number 16, we've got spices and herbs, and if you think these are just extras, you're dead wrong. When survival mode kicks in, bland, repetitive meals are going to get old fast. That's where spices and herbs come in. These little powerhouses might not seem like a big deal, but they're the secret weapon for transforming basic, boring ingredients into meals you'll actually want to eat. Food fatigue is real, and trust me, after your 10th bowl of plain rice or beans, you'll be praying for something to kick up the flavor. Here's the deal: spices like salt, pepper, garlic powder, chili flakes, and cinnamon, along with dried herbs like oregano, thyme, or basil, take up almost no space, last for years, and weigh next to nothing. That means you can stock up in bulk without crushing your storage space. And it's not just about making food taste better. Some of these spices pack real nutritional and medicinal benefits that you can't afford to ignore. Cinnamon, for example, has natural anti-inflammatory properties, and garlic, it's a rock star for boosting your immune system, something you'll want in a world where medical help could be miles away. Salt deserves its own shout-out here. Beyond making food edible, it's a survival essential for preserving meats and vegetables if your fridge goes out of commission. While everyone else watches their fresh food spoil, you'll be salting down your supplies and staying ahead of the game. And don't underestimate the morale boost spices can bring. Something as simple as a sprinkle of chili flakes or a dash of oregano can turn meal number 47 into something that feels human again. Bottom line, spices and herbs might seem small, but they deliver big. They enhance your meals, offer medicinal perks, and keep your spirits high when things are rough. Skip them, and you're setting yourself up for weeks of tasteless misery. Stock up now, your future self will thank you. At number 15, we've got dried fruits, and if you're overlooking these, you're making a big mistake. When fresh produce is nothing but a distant memory, dried fruits like raisins, apricots, apples, and mangoes swoop in to save the day. They're a concentrated source of essential vitamins, minerals, and fiber, all packed into a lightweight, long-lasting package. Plus, they're naturally sweet, so you get that energy boost without any of the junk added in processed snacks. Here's the bottom line: dried fruits are a nutritional goldmine. They're loaded with antioxidants to keep your immune system sharp and packed with potassium for heart health and iron to combat fatigue. These are nutrients you're not going to find easily in a crisis, and trust me, when fresh veggies and fruits are off the table, you're going to be grateful you have these on hand. Toss a handful into oatmeal, mix them with some nuts, or eat them straight out of the bag. They're delicious and versatile. And don't underestimate their shelf life. Stored properly in a cool, dry spot, sealed up tight, dried fruits can last for months, sometimes years. That makes them perfect for long-term stockpiling. If you're forced to grab essentials and go, they're portable and easy to pack, which means they travel as well as you do. If that wasn't enough, they're also a weapon against food fatigue. Sure, survival might not be a picnic, but having a touch of sweetness in your meals can do wonders for morale. It's small, but it's meaningful. And when things get tough, a small comfort like that can go a long way. Ignore dried fruits at your own peril. They're nutrient-dense, shelf-stable, and versatile, a triple threat for any survival pantry. Stock up now, or kick yourself later when you're living off plain rice with zero energy. Be smart, don't skip this one. At number 14, we've got vinegar, the ultimate multitasker you're probably underestimating. If this isn't already part of your stockpile, you need to fix that mistake ASAP. Vinegar isn't just a condiment, it's a survival powerhouse. Whether it's apple cider, white, or balsamic, vinegar proves its worth in a dozen different ways. When fresh produce vanishes and food variety hits rock bottom, vinegar steps in to save the day. Use it to pickle vegetables and preserve them for the long haul. Trust me, having some crunchy, tangy pickles in an otherwise bland meal will feel like a small miracle. But that's just the beginning. Vinegar doubles as a cleaning agent and disinfectant, making it essential when keeping things hygienic becomes a challenge in a survival situation. White vinegar, in particular, is a rock star for wiping down surfaces, cleaning grimy cookware, and even purifying water in a pinch. Seriously, why wouldn't you stock up on something that not only makes food better but can literally keep you alive? Don't forget, apple cider vinegar brings even more to the table. It's often consumed for its potential health benefits, like aiding digestion and supporting immunity. It can also soothe minor skin irritations or insect bites. And unlike other household items that lose their usefulness over time, vinegar's long shelf life and potency mean it's going to be just as effective years later. You can't say the same for a lot of other pantry items. Want more reasons? It's dirt cheap. You can buy gallons of this stuff without breaking the bank, and it pays you back tenfold with all its uses. Cleaning, preserving, flavoring, health, and even survival all packed into one bottle. Vinegar is a no-brainer. Don't stockpile it, and you might as well put yourself at the mercy of a bad situation. Be smart and stash some today. At number 13, we have baking essentials, and listen, if you don't have this stuff stockpiled, you're going to regret it big time. Flour, baking powder, baking soda, and yeast aren't just nice-to-haves, they're survival staples. When the grocery store shelves are empty and you haven't seen fresh bread in weeks, these ingredients will be your ticket to staying full and sane. Trust me, there's nothing more satisfying than being able to whip up your own bread, pancakes, or even biscuits when everything else is falling apart. Flour is your MVP here, super versatile, easy to store, and the base for pretty much every baked good you can think of. Then you've got baking soda and baking powder, those long-lasting little leaveners that make all the difference between a flat, sad heap and something fluffy and edible. And yeast? That's your magic ingredient for fresh, homemade bread, something most people won't have when times get tough. Don't own an oven? No problem. You can easily make flatbreads or tortillas on a stovetop, a griddle, or even over a fire if you have to. With these basics in your pantry, you're never stuck with boring, repetitive meals. Think beyond your own needs, too. These baking essentials are worth their weight in gold in a bartering situation. Flour and yeast especially are going to be high-demand items because most people don't plan ahead. You can trade them for things you might be missing, or even use them to build goodwill with your neighbors when tensions are high. And don't overlook the morale factor here. Freshly baked bread or warm biscuits can feel like a hug for the soul after days of bland survival foods. A little bit of comfort can go a long way when things are rough. Stock these baking essentials now or brace yourself for a future of tasteless, pre-packaged misery. The choice is yours. At number 12, we've got maple syrup, and this isn't just some fancy pancake topping. It's liquid gold, pure and simple, and it absolutely deserves a spot in your survival stockpile. Why? For starters, this natural sweetener isn't just delicious, it's packed with calories, antioxidants, and essential minerals like manganese and zinc. That makes it a dual threat, working as both an energy booster and an immune supporter in tough times. Unlike refined sugar, maple syrup is the real deal, no crazy processing, no empty calories. And guess what? If stored right, unopened, and in a cool, dark place, it'll last for years. Years. Try saying that for most so-called sweeteners out there. But here's the kicker: this stuff is versatile in ways you've probably never thought about. Sure, you can drizzle it on pancakes or oatmeal when supplies are limited, but it doesn't stop there. Add it to coffee or tea as a natural sweetener. Use it to glaze meats or vegetables to crank up the flavor and add extra calories to your meals. Stuck with a bland, repetitive food routine? Maple syrup's here to save the day, turning boring into borderline gourmet with just a splash. You baking your own bread or desserts with stockpiled flour? Maple syrup steps in as the perfect sugar substitute. The Amish have been relying on it for generations, and for good reason. It's natural, shelf-stable, and doesn't need refrigeration. That's exactly the kind of practicality you need in a survival situation. And don't underestimate its worth in barter situations. When sugar and other sweeteners are scarce, a bottle of pure maple syrup could be worth its weight in gold. People will fight for the comfort of something sweet when times are tough. Bottom line? Skip maple syrup, and you're making your stockpile weaker. Grab it now before you're stuck wishing you had. At number 11, we've got hard candy, and if you think this is just a frivolous treat, think again. This stuff is a survival powerhouse disguised as a sweet. Hard candy is packed with pure carbs, which means it delivers an instant energy hit when you're running on empty or dealing with limited food sources. When the days are long and exhausting, and trust me, they will be, having something compact and calorie-dense can be a literal lifesaver. Here's the beauty of hard candy: it lasts forever. Okay, not actually forever, but close to it. Its super low moisture content means it won't spoil for years if kept in a cool, dry place. That makes it an easy item to stockpile without worrying about wasting it later. Throw some in your bug-out bag, your car, or your pantry, and forget about it until you need it. But hard candy isn't just about keeping your sugar levels steady, it's about morale. Life won't exactly be a barrel of laughs in a survival situation, and that little burst of sweetness can work wonders for your mood. It's a shard of normalcy, especially for kids who might really struggle emotionally in a crisis. Don't underestimate the psychological power of a lollipop or peppermint when everything else feels like it's falling apart. And here's a survival bonus: hard candy is prime barter material. People will want small comforts when times get tough. You could potentially trade a handful of candy for gear, supplies, or other essentials. It's cheap, it's shelf-stable, and it can save your sanity in more ways than one. Stock it up now, or regret it later when all you're left with is bland rations and empty hands. At number 10, we've got wheat berries, the real MVP of long-term survival foods. Forget about that processed junk. These whole, unprocessed grains are built to last, with a shelf life of up to 30 years if stored properly. That's 3 decades of food security in one little grain. Think about that. Packed with fiber, protein, and essential nutrients like B vitamins, wheat berries are not just filling, they're fueling. You're not surviving on these, you're thriving. Here's why the Amish and now, hopefully, you rely on wheat berries. Unlike regular flour, they stay fresh for the long haul. When everything else in your pantry has expired, wheat berries will be just as good as the day you stored them. And versatility? They're the king of it. Grind them into fresh flour for bread, pasta, or pancakes. Boil them up and toss them in soups, stews, or salads. Feeling fancy? Sprout them to grow some fresh greens when other veggies are long gone. This one food item can handle it all. Now, if you've got a grain mill, turning these babies into flour is a breeze, and guess what? Freshly ground flour is a game changer. You control the quality, and it's way tastier than the stuff off store shelves. And sprouts. Those are your lifeline to fresh nutrients when the produce section has been a ghost town for months. The Amish know all this, and now you do too. Wheat berries aren't just food, they're survival gold. Hearty, healthy, and endlessly adaptable. They'll keep you fed, nourished, and sane when the chips are down. Skip them and you're missing out on one of the smartest stockpile foods out there. Get them now and thank yourself later when you're grinding fresh flour while everyone else is scraping at the bottom of their canned goods stash. At number 9, we have honey, and if this isn't already part of your stockpile, you're making a huge mistake. Honey isn't just a sweet treat, it's practically indestructible. Seriously, archaeologists found jars of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that are still good to eat. That's thousands of years. Unopened and stored properly, honey never goes bad. It's a survival pantry all-star, and you'd be foolish not to include it. But honey isn't just about sweetening your tea. This stuff is a multitasker. It's packed with fast-acting carbohydrates, giving you a vital energy boost when every other snack option is gone. Feeling low on stamina during a long crisis? A spoonful of honey has your back. And it doesn't stop there. Honey also has antibacterial, antifungal, and antimicrobial properties. That means you can use it as a natural wound dressing, to soothe a sore throat, or even to fight off minor infections when the pharmacy shelves are empty. And the versatility. Forget about it. Honey can upgrade nearly any meal. Spread it on bread, mix it into oatmeal, use it as a baking substitute, or drizzle it over otherwise bland emergency food. It transforms even the dullest rations into something that feels almost gourmet. Plus, keeping food fatigue at bay is crucial in tough times. Morale matters more than you think. Now here's the kicker: honey isn't just for you. It's a survival MVP in the barter game. When resources are stretched thin, people will trade big for a jar of honey. Its flavor, medicinal uses, and near-eternal shelf life make it a commodity no one can resist. Bottom line? Honey's not just food, it's pure survival gold. Stockpile it now, or regret missing out when the world turns upside down. At number 8, we've got salt, and if you're even halfway serious about prepping, you'd better make room for it. Salt isn't just some kitchen seasoning, it's Survival 101. This stuff is timeless, literally. It never goes bad. You can toss it in your stockpile and forget about it for decades, but when you need it, it'll be sitting there ready to save the day. Now, salt is a multitasker that puts some so-called essential items to shame. Sure, it makes food taste better, but it's also a preservative powerhouse. You can use it to cure meat, pickle veggies, and preserve just about anything. Forget your fancy gadgets. Salt was keeping food edible long before refrigerators were even a thing. Stocking up means you're set to keep your supplies lasting months, even years, no matter what's happening in the outside world. But flavor and preservation are just the beginning. Physically, you need salt to stay alive. It helps maintain your electrolyte balance, which is crucial when you're sweating bullets or dealing with dehydration. A pinch of salt in your water can literally save your life. Need hygiene help? Salt comes through there too. It can clean wounds and prevent infections when the first aid kit runs dry. You can even use it for basic cleaning and sanitation in a pinch. And don't forget its value in a post-collapse barter system. History's got receipts. Salt was once used as currency, and in a crisis, it'll be worth its weight in gold again. Whether you're trading for food, supplies, or medicine, salt will be in high demand. It's cheap now, but it won't stay that way when things go south. Bottom line, salt isn't just nice to have, it's non-negotiable. Stock up now or scrape by later. Your call. At number 7, we have rice, the ultimate survival food you can't afford to skip. Rice isn't just a pantry filler, it's a lifesaver. This stuff is calorie-dense, incredibly versatile, and dirt cheap. Store it the right way. Airtight containers, mylar bags, or vacuum-sealed with oxygen absorbers, and white rice will stay good for decades. You read that right, decades. When everything else has expired, rice will still be ready to fuel you. One of the best things about rice? It's a food multiplier. A small handful swells into a meal big enough to feed a family. Add some beans, canned meat, or even scraps of veggies, and you've got a filling, balanced meal. Carbs? Check. Protein? Check. Nutrients? Yep, rice has that too. It's a total survival package. Plus, it's gluten-free, meaning it works for just about anyone, even those with dietary restrictions, a critical consideration when supplies and choices are thin. And don't forget, rice is beyond easy to prepare. You just need water. That's it? Fuel is scarce? Equipment limited? Doesn't matter. Rice doesn't require anything fancy to turn into a nourishing meal. Whether you're bulk cooking to stretch rations or just looking for something filling to get through a tough day, rice delivers every time. Bottom line, if you don't stockpile rice, you're doing it wrong. It's cheap, it's vital, and it takes up almost no space. When the shelves are empty and you're stretching your food reserves, rice will be the hero you'll thank over and over again. Get it, store it, lock it down. Simple as that. At number 6, we've got peanut butter, and trust me, this isn't just a snack food, it's survival gold in a jar. Packed with protein, healthy fats, and enough calories to keep you going when the chips are down, peanut butter is one of the smartest things you can stockpile. A single spoonful can serve as an instant energy boost or even a meal if that's all you've got. It's portable, satisfying, and downright essential for anyone serious about prepping. One of peanut butter's biggest perks? It's built to last. Forget refrigeration, it stays good for months, even years, as long as you keep it stored in a cool, dry spot. And it's versatile, too. Spread it on crackers, mix it into oatmeal, or eat it straight from the jar. No judgment here. When times get tough, you'll take every ounce of comfort and nutrition you can get, and peanut butter delivers both in spades. This isn't just about calories either. Peanut butter is loaded with vital nutrients like vitamin E, magnesium, and niacin, essential for keeping your immune system strong and your body functioning when the going gets rough. Balanced nutrition can be nearly impossible in a crisis, but peanut butter steps up to fill in the gaps. When the shelves are empty and you're scraping for sustenance, this little jar of goodness will feel like a treasure. Stock up now or regret it later when you're staring at plain rice wishing you had something to make it edible. Peanut butter isn't just a food, it's survival fuel. At number 5, we've got canned beans, and if your stockpile doesn't include these, you're doing it all wrong. High in protein, fiber, and essential nutrients, canned beans are the survival food that pulls double duty. They keep you full, give you energy, and pack the kind of nutrition that's hard to come by in a crisis. Black beans, kidney beans, pinto beans, pick your favorite, or better yet, stock up on them all. They're the closest you're going to get to a reliable meat substitute when fresh protein isn't an option. The best part, they're already cooked. That's right, no soaking, boiling, or waiting around required. Pop the lid and you're good to go. When cooking resources are scarce, this can mean the difference between eating and going hungry. But beyond convenience, canned beans are versatile as hell. Mix them with rice, toss them into soups, throw them in salads, or mash them into spreads like hummus. The possibilities are endless, and they help fight off food fatigue when you're eating from a limited menu. And don't forget, they last. Kept in a cool, dry spot, canned beans can stick around for years without losing their punch. They're cheap, easy to stock up on, and give you a lot of bang for your buck. When fresh groceries have vanished and your options are shrinking by the minute, you'll be glad you grabbed these nutrient-packed cans. Trust me, this is one pantry essential you'll never regret having. Stockpile now. Thank yourself later. At number 4, we've got pasta, the ultimate low-cost, long-lasting survival food you cannot afford to ignore. Pasta is cheap, stupidly easy to store, and insanely versatile. Toss it in a cool, dry spot, and it'll stay good for years. When you're dealing with an emergency, that kind of shelf life is priceless. No fancy storage tricks, no refrigeration, just stash it and forget it until you need it. Simple as that. Here's the kicker: pasta cooks fast and only needs boiling water. That means it's perfect when your resources like fuel or time are running thin. But don't think for a second that it's just filler. Pasta's high carb content delivers the energy you need to stay on your feet. Pair it with canned tomatoes, meats, or beans, and you've got a hearty, morale-boosting meal that'll keep you going for hours. Got spices or herbs lying around? Even better, transform boring noodles into comfort food gold. Pasta is also crazy adaptable. From classic Italian dishes to budget casseroles and quick soups, it fits into almost any recipe. And its lightweight, easy-to-portion nature makes it the ultimate bulk food. Stretch a small stash to feed a family or even a community if it comes to that. And here's a little bonus: pasta's got serious bartering power. Everybody loves it. When supplies are tight and people are desperate, you'll be glad you've got extra boxes. Bottom line? Pasta isn't optional, it's essential. Stockpile it heavy, or hate yourself later when the shelves are empty. At number 3, we have canned vegetables, and if they're not already in your stockpile, you're making a huge mistake. When fresh produce disappears, and trust me, it will, your only lifeline to essential vitamins and minerals is sitting in these cans. We're talking green beans, carrots, corn, tomatoes, the works. Forget about refrigeration, these bad boys are shelf-stable for years. All they need is a cool, dry place, and they'll be ready for when things go south. The beauty of canned vegetables: you can eat them straight out of the can if you have to. No cooking, no fuss, just open and eat. If you've got the resources like a stove or fire, heat them up, and suddenly your bland meal gets an upgrade. And don't even think about tossing out the liquid they're packed in. That stuff is pure gold, loaded with nutrients. It can be added to soups or stews to stretch your food and boost flavor. Canned vegetables also prevent that dreaded survival food fatigue. When you're stuck eating the same bland staples day after day, tossing in some veggies can make meals feel less like punishment and more like actual food. Plus, going without vegetables for too long risks nutrient deficiencies. You do not want to deal with that when medical help is a pipe dream. Lightweight, portable, and easy to portion, canned vegetables are also clutch for bartering. Everyone needs them, which makes them a survival MVP. Stock up now, or prepare to regret it when you're living off plain rice and noodles. Don't say we didn't warn you. At number 1, we've got bone broth, the unsung hero of any survival stockpile. This isn't just some fancy soup starter, it's liquid gold when the world's turned upside down. Bone broth is packed with essential nutrients, amino acids, and minerals that keep you going when everything else is running out. Think collagen, gelatin, and electrolytes. These are the things that keep your joints working, your digestion on track, and your body holding it together when times are tough. Forget trendy diets, this is survival fuel at its finest. What makes bone broth a total MVP? It's ridiculously versatile. You can drink it straight up to warm your soul on cold nights, use it to cook your grains or vegetables for added flavor, or mix it into soups and stews to upgrade even the most basic meal. And here's the big bonus, it can be canned or dehydrated, making it an absolute rock star for long-term storage. Just add water, and boom, you've got a powerhouse meal base with minimal effort. And don't underestimate the morale factor. A steaming cup of bone broth isn't just nutrients, it's comfort in a crisis. It lifts spirits, brings calm, and frankly, reminds you why you stocked up in the first place. Oh, and in barter scenarios, bone broth will make you a king. When people are desperate for nutrition that actually works, you'll have the goods they'll do anything to get. Trust me, stockpile this now or regret it when you're staring at a bland meal wishing for real sustenance.